Everybody knows Sabrante LaShawn Rhodes, a.k.a. Bronte. No, I ain't on that type of time.
Welcome to another episode of J Inclusive. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications on so you are alerted every time I upload.
Tonight at 11, 2 local men murdered. Investigators say both were lured to their deaths through an online dating app. And the man now under arrest and charged with their murders is well known to police for a string of previous burglaries in which he wore a mask to hide his identity. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher has more on how detectives connected all the dots. Michelle.
Mark, when someone goes online looking for love, the last thing they might expect is violence. The LA County District Attorney's Office now charging a local man for a murder spree, seemingly luring in his victims with the cruel bait and switch. This man, 34-year-old Rakim Prowell of Inglewood, on Monday was charged with murdering 2 men and attempting to kill another after connecting with all 3 of the alleged victims on a dating app.
Bail was set at no bail.
Prowell hidden as he appeared before a judge in a downtown Los Angeles courtroom today as the LA County District Attorney released details of his alleged murder spree. Investigators say Prowell's first victim was Miguel Angel King. They met up on July 20th, 2021, after connecting through an online dating app. Prowell accused of fatally shooting King and stealing his car. King's remains were discovered in the Angeles National Forest 3 weeks later. Then 2 years after that, on August 21st, 2023, investigators say Prowell made plans with 53-year-old Robert Gutierrez, who he also met through the same dating app. Gutierrez's family reporting him missing 2 days later. His body never discovered. Investigators locating his car in Prowell's garage when he was arrested last week. A third unidentified 40-year-old victim, investigators say, met up with Prowell earlier this year on February 22nd. The pair also connecting online. Prowell accused of binding the victim, beating him with a bat, and stealing his wallet. The victim managing to escape, but investigators allege Prowell chased him with a car, hit him, breaking his leg. And take a look at this security footage of what appears to be a white man, but it's really a masked Rakim Prowell wearing the disguise he used during a series of burglaries across Los Angeles between 2019 and 2021, a crime Prowell is currently on probation for. Prowell currently being held with no bail, with his arraignment now set for next month. If convicted, Prowell faces life in prison without parole or the death penalty. The DA's office saying a decision on whether to seek the death penalty will come at a later date.
For everybody tonight from Dallas police, they say that a popular dating app has led, they believe, to a string of robberies and assaults. Rachel Hackbarth live tonight to tell us about the recent events and also why this specifically has the LGBTQ community particularly upset. Rachel?
Well, Doug, Dallas police say in just the last few weeks, 7 people have been assaulted trying to meet up with someone that they talked to on the popular dating app called Grindr. And police are warning you that they believe some of the suspects are still out there on the loose.
The app Grindr is meant to be a place for gay and bisexual men to meet. But for the past several weeks, Dallas police say thieves have been using the technology to lure in their next victim. For many in the LGBTQ community, it feels personal.
When you attack one person in a minority group, it feels like it's an attack on the whole group.
Dallas police say it started on December 7th when the first 2 victims were robbed and assaulted on Chariot Drive and Rothington Road in southeast Dallas while trying to meet someone from Grindr. The very next day, another attack happened again on Chariot Drive. Then, just a few days later, on December 12th, police say the same thing happened to 4 more victims on the same street, this time in a vacant apartment, bringing the total to 7 assaults.
There are folks out there that want to do us harm and would take advantage of using a site that some folks use to meet other people as an avenue to do that.
This recent string of attacks comes after 4 Frisco men were indicted on federal hate crime and conspiracy charges for allegedly targeting gay men using this exact same app. For many in the LGBTQ community, it is serving as an important reminder.
Apps and websites are nothing more than tools. It's how you use them and how you react to the people that you use them that is where you have to be wary.
Dallas police say that they have arrested one 17-year-old male, and he is facing 4 charges of aggravated robbery, but they are still looking for 3 to 5 other suspects. They say they're still out there on the loose, so if you happen to have any information, they're asking you to call Crime Stoppers.
A cruel gang who targeted gay men on Grindr in order to violently rob them has been jailed for nearly 80 years in total. They stole more than £100,000 from their victims during a 10-month rampage in Birmingham, as well as an incident in Derby where they used another scam to attack 2 men at knife point. A further victim was also targeted at city centre nightclub Reflex, believing his drink was spiked before he was held captive for over 12 hours. The gang often lured gay men to Golden Hillock Sports Ground in Sparkbrook, forced them to unlock their phones with facial recognition, and then drained their bank and cryptocurrency accounts.
The offences occurred between April 2023 and February 2024. Predominantly victims were targeted using a dating app called Grindr. So the victims were essentially lured into parks in the early hours of the morning where they were set upon by multiple offenders, assaulted by kicks and punches, threatened with weapons such as knives, and received injuries such as fractured eye sockets and broken jaws. They then had property stolen and were forced to open their banking apps and had thousands of pounds taken out of their bank accounts. Some instances the victims were kept for several hours and then they had their cars stolen.
All 5 men from Birmingham were jailed at the city's Crown Court on Monday, January 13th, after previously being convicted of conspiracy to rob. Demalji Hadza, aged 21, of Erskine Street, Nechells, admitted the charge and was sentenced to 16 years and 2 months. Abubakar Al-Azawi, 21, of Baverstock Road, Kings Heath, also pleaded guilty and received 16 years and 5 months. Ali Hassan, aged 21, of Albert Road, Lizelles, was handed 16 years and 9 months, while Wasim Omar, 24, of Wardlow Road, Nechells, was sentenced to 17 years and 3 months. Mohammed Sharif, 23, of Keir Court, Bordsley Green, was jailed for 12 years. All will serve up to 2/3 of their terms in custody before being eligible for release.
And we're continuing to ask questions about a homicide in Mobile County.
On Friday, a pedestrian found a body at the end of Euler Road. That's about 16 miles southwest of downtown Mobile. Sheriff deputies say it looks like 58-year-old Johnny Salkis had been there from anywhere to 3 to 16 hours.
However, investigators telling Fox 10 News they're still not sure how the man died.
Now, this involves the shooting death of Johnny Clark Salkis. His body was found on Euler Road in a cul-de-sac on Friday. Now, Mobile County Sheriff's officials say they have detained Sabrante LaShawn Rhodes as a person of interest in the case. They say he was arrested this afternoon on active felony warrants of burglary and unlawful breaking and entering into a motor vehicle in separate cases. Sheriff's officials say Rhodes was arrested at a strip mall, the 6,000 block of Old Pascagoula Road today. But a short time later, deputies went to Hounds Run 2 apartments in the 5900 block of Sperry Road, just a few blocks away, to tow a car.
There was a second person in the vehicle with Rhodes, and this is the vehicle that he was driving went prior to leaving. So we're going to search it as well after we get a search warrant signed.
No charges on that person?
Not as of yet.
And sheriff's officials say they also had another vehicle towed away. They believed it was involved in the murder. Investigators, however, are still looking for a murder weapon, and they say Salkis was shot in the head, but a motive is not known. As of now, Rhodes remains just a person of interest.
Well, Peter, deputies say they actually used video surveillance that put Rhodes' car at several key places at several key times, and he had quite a bit to say as he was taken here to Mobile Metro Jail, but he would not say where he was on Friday.
I did not kill nobody. And if everybody knows Sabrante LaShawn Rhodes, a.k.a. Bronte, no, I ain't on that type of time.
But Mobile County Sheriff's deputies say they have enough evidence for a case against Rhodes.
He wouldn't be wearing handcuffs.
Were you around that area, Euler Road?
We feel strongly that robbery was a motive. He clearly has a history of robbery.
When we questioned Rhodes, he may have said something about that robbery.
Somebody say something to me about I done stole something, I done did that, I did that. But all that extra man, I ain't killed nobody, man.
And investigators believe there may be more people out there who were also robbed by Rhodes.
We do know that Rhodes was using the Grindr app to reach out to people. Our victim, who was murdered on Thursday night, Friday morning, made contact with Rhodes through Grindr, and met up and then was murdered.
Investigators now telling us Sokis was at an ATM the same night with someone standing 2 feet behind him. He was found dead Friday on Euler Road.
We were able to develop a suspect vehicle. Fortunately for us, it was a vehicle, a Lincoln Aviator, that there are not many of those on the road.
The suspect was found yesterday. Birch says another man he'd met on Grindr yesterday morning was in the vehicle with him and could potentially have become another victim.
By no means are we judging their lifestyle. However, it is very reckless to meet up with someone through an app that you have absolutely no idea who they are. And that's ultimately what he used to get Mr. Sokis in the vehicle with him.
Sheriff's Office asks anyone who is a victim of robbery by Rhodes to come forward.
Mason Cooley says he also met Rhodes via Grindr, a location-based dating app for gay, bi, and transgender people. He says he believes Rhodes preyed on him before eventually stealing from him.
I guess a part of me just knew something was up, but I didn't want to admit it.
Mason Cooley says he initially met Sabrante Rhodes through Grindr and eventually invited him into his Saraland home.
He put on a lot of vibes that he was interested in a relationship.
Cooley stopped talking to him after he says Rhodes stole money out of his wallet.
That's the last time I talked to him.
Cooley says Rhodes knew he would be out of town for a week. And Cooley says that's when Rhodes turned the table on their relationship.
Broke in through the back window and stole 2 of my TVs.
The burglary was caught on Cooley's security cameras. You see a man walk to the back door and unplug the cameras there. You then see a man go through a back window to get inside. Cooley says Rhodes knew where the cameras were.
He had actually asked about them, and I explained to him how they worked.
Saraland police were called to the home by a neighbor, and Rhodes was arrested and charged with burglary that day. 7 months later, Rhodes was back in jail, this time charged in the murder of Johnny Sokis, who was found dead in West Mobile last Friday.
I ain't killed nobody.
The Mobile County Sheriff's Office says Rhodes knew Sokis through the Grindr app, and they don't believe this was the first time Rhodes used the app to find victims.
We believe there are other victims of robberies out there.
He's doing stuff with men, but also using them, finding out their routine and going back to their houses and stealing stuff. And obviously I wasn't the only one. I'm not the only victim.
A detective testified while monitoring Sabrante Rhodes' phone calls at the jail. Rhodes used the term murder weapon when saying someone else had the gun. That man is Cameron Sullivan, who was accused of shooting someone at a gas station on Highway 90 in November, using the same gun that was used to kill Johnny Sokis. Mobile County deputies say they spoke to Sullivan, who said he bought the gun from Rhodes. But prosecutors say it was Rhodes who admitted to being with Sokis on the night of the murder and is seen on surveillance video picking him up. Evidence taken from Rhodes' car is still being tested.
I want my mama to know I love my mama. Mama, you know I ain't no murderer. I ain't killed nobody. I love my family. I love people. I ain't no murderer.
At first, 42-year-old Sabrante Rhodes was quiet, keeping his head down, not answering any questions.
Did you do this?
That didn't last long, though.
Family, I need y'all. They really have me wrong. I need y'all. I did not kill nobody. And if everybody knows Sabrante LaShawn Rhodes, a.k.a. Bronte, no, I ain't on that type of thing. They done spooked me down here. They done said to try to twist my words up. All that. I ain't killed nobody.
Prosecutors also revealed Rhodes will be facing more charges. He's accused of stabbing another inmate with a shank since he's...
The Mobile man who murdered a man he met on the social app Grindr has been sentenced to life in prison. Sabrante Rhodes was found guilty of murder for the 2019 fatal shooting of Johnny Sokis. That was in May of 2023. Mobile County Sheriff's Office says Rhodes arranged to meet Johnny Sokis through the dating app, robbed him, shot him in the head, leaving his body near a storm drain at the end of a deserted cul-de-sac off Euler Road. Investigators say he targeted the gay community using the app and was arrested in an adult store with another man that he just met on the app. In a Facebook post today, Mobile District Attorney Keith Blackwood said, quote, Sabrante Rhodes is heading right where he belongs, behind bars, for the rest of his life.